Turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up and a time to break down, a time to dance and a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven.
Good morning, and welcome to this service featuring our abridged reading of the Tragedy of Qoheleth, adapted by Tom Eubank from the book of Ecclesiastes. In so much as this story of Qoheleth seems to conform to Aristotle's criteria for the tragic genre of poetic praise, this adaptation and presentation is stylized as a Greek tragedy. However, in terms of theos and poetry, language and intent, the content is completely consistent with the Pentateuch and the poetic books of the Tanakh. To us, it may seem strange that Qoheleth is in constant dialogue with his heart. However, for the ancient Hebrews, the heart was the most vital organ of the body and the locus of the intellect and ruach. We have adopted ruach as a Hebrew loanword since it is critically important to the plot of Qoheleth and impossible to adequately translate into English. Ruach simultaneously encompasses the meanings of wind, the breath and spirit of God that separated the heavens and the firmament as it passed over the void at the very beginning of creation. It is the air we breathe, essential to life, without which nothing lives. It is the gift of life itself, given to every living creature at the time of birth and reclaimed at the moment of death. Collectively, Ruach is the invisible evidence of God's presence in the world. Now, before we proceed with the tragedy of Qoheleth, please rise as you are willing and able, and join together in singing Breathe on Me, Breath of God, number 135 in the Friends hymnal.
Breathe on me, breath of God. Qoheleth.
How do we benefit from all of our works that we work under the sun? One generation goes, another generation arrives, but the earth remains forever. Likewise, the sun rises and the sun sets, then hurries back to rise again. To the south, turning north, always turning, ever blows the Ruach. Yet the Ruach, too, always returns to its travails. All the rivers running to the sea, yet the sea is never full. From wherever the rivers flow, their waters return again. All these things are puzzling. No one can explain. No eye suffices for observing. No ear understands what it is hearing.
What is that which has been? It is that which is. And what is that which has been done? It is that which is being done. And there is no entirely new thing under the sun. Is there ever anything of which it may be said, look, this is something completely new? It has already been long ago. No one knows what has come before, and of that which is coming, neither will those who follow.
I, Qoheleth, was king over Israel and Jerusalem, and I dedicated my heart to study and to intellectually comprehend the nature of everything that is done under heaven.
And it is a tragic obsession for which God has cursed this man.
I have seen all the works that are worked under the sun, and look, all are mirage and withering ruach.
That which is crooked cannot be straightened. That which is missing cannot be counted.
I spoke with my heart, saying, look, I have multiplied and increased my intellect more than all who were before me in Israel. And you, my heart, have amassed much intelligence and knowledge. I committed my heart to understand the intellect and also to understand laughter and silliness, but discovered that this just was the ruach.
For with an abundance of intellect also increases sorrow.
And they who increase knowledge also increase sorrow.
I said to my heart, come now, let me test you with pleasure. Therefore, do whatever you want.
But even this was a passing mirage.
Of laughter I said foolishness, and of merriment, what does this accomplish? With my heart I explored, infusing my flesh with wine.
His heart still guiding him with intellect, thus limiting folly.
So I might see what was good for the sons of man to do under heaven in the finite days of their lives. Magnificent I made my works. I built myself palaces. I planted myself vineyards. I made myself gardens and orchards, and planted trees with all sorts of fruit. I made myself pools and canals from which to irrigate the nurseries. I bought myself slaves and maidservants, and had slaves born unto my house. I had much wealth, great herds and flocks.
Much more than all who ruled Israel before him.
I accumulated for myself silver and gold, the grand treasures of the kings and of the provinces. I trained for myself male and female singers, all the luxuries of the sons of man.
Including a wife.
And concubines. Don't forget the concubines.
So I was great. And I accumulated more than all who ruled before me in Israel. Furthermore, my intellect remained with me. Whatever my eyes desired, I kept not from them. From my heart I withheld no pleasure. For my heart was proud of all I had done.
All this was what he had deserved for all he had done.
And I proudly surveyed all my works my hands had worked, and all my labor I had labored.
All are mirage and withering ruin. There is no profit under the sun.
But then my intellect observed madness and folly. Who is this man who succeeds the king?
Only he who was chosen long ago.
There is an advantage of intelligence over ignorance.
Like that of light over darkness.
The eyes of the intelligent are in his head, while the ignorant walk in darkness.
But the same end awaits them all.
I then said to my heart, as it happens to the ignorant, so it happens even to me. How then was I the more intelligent?
This too is mirage.
For of the intelligent, even as of the ignorant, there is no lasting memory, since in the days that are coming, everything is forgotten. So how did the intelligent die?
Just like the fool.
So I hated life. I resented the work that I worked under the sun.
All are mirage, withering ruin.
I hate my labors I labor under the sun, because I leave them to a man who succeeds me.
Whether he be genius or an ignoramus.
And he will control all of my works I have worked, memorializing my intellect under the sun.
This too is mirage.
So I began to despair and caused my heart to despair concerning all the works I had worked under the sun. Here's a man whose erudite legacy, created with knowledge and skill, and yet to a man who has not worked for it, he gives it, his due portion.
What is due this man for all his works and the striving of his heart that he worked under the sun? All his days are now sorrows and his efforts resented. Even at night his heart cannot rest.
These are mirage, such great injustice. So there's nothing better to do than for each to eat and drink and to permit oneself to enjoy the good of their labor. This too, I have seen, is from the hand of God.
And who hurries to a banquet faster than he?
To the person who pleases him, God gives intelligence, knowledge, and joy. But to the errant is given travail together and to keep up, so all may be given to the one who pleases God.
This too is mirage.
What benefits are gained by those who work for what they want?
I have seen the travails with which God humbles the sons of man.
God has made everything perfect for its allotted time, but has set in their hearts a world so vast that one cannot comprehend how God has worked, either from the beginning or from the end.
I know that there is nothing better than for each to be grateful and to do good as long as they live.
Everyone should eat and drink and enjoy the good of their labor. It is the gift of God.
I know that whatever God does, it shall be forever. Nothing can be added to it nor taken from it.
And God has done it so that people may revere him.
That which is has been long ago, and that which is to be has already been done.
And God seeks again that which has been driven away.
Moreover, I saw that under the sun in the halls of justice, wickedness was there, and in the place of righteousness, wickedness was there. I said to my heart, God will judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a given time for every intent and for every work. I said to my heart, as for the sons of man, God humbles them, so they may see that they themselves are animals. For that which happens to the sons of man also happens to the animals. The same thing happens to them both. As the one dies, so dies the others. Yes, they all have one ruach, and no human has any advantage over the animals.
All of the living are but mirage.
All go to the very same place. All are from dust and are becoming dust again.
Who knows whether the ruach of the sons of man is going upward, and whether the ruach of the animals is going downward to the earth?
Therefore I saw that there is nothing better than for each to enjoy whatever they are doing, since that is their due.
And exactly who could ever show them what is to happen next?
Whenever the heavy clouds are full of rain, on the earth they empty themselves. And whichever way a tree may fall, there it shall remain. Whoever studies the ruach in the sky sows not, and whoever contemplates the clouds reaps not. As you know not whither the way of ruach, nor how the bones grow in the womb of her with child, you also know not the work of God who does it all. In the morning sow your seed, and in the evening withdraw not your hand.
You never know which is right, this or that, or whether both are equally good.
Sweet also is the light. It is good for the eyes. And should you live many years, permit yourself to enjoy them all. But remember, for they are many.
All that are coming are but mirage.
Celebrate, my children, while you're still young. Let your heart cheer you in the days of your youth. Walk in the light of your heart and by the light of your eyes. Just remember that by all you do, God remembers you. Therefore, from your heart cast all doubt aside, and with your body pass troubles by. For childhood and the prime of life departs so quickly like a mirage. Attend now to your choices in the days of your youth, before the days of decline descend and the years arrive whereof you say, nothing good remains. Before the sun, the light, the moon, and the stars darken, and the thick clouds return after the rain. In the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those who look out
as it was, and the ruach returned to the God who gave it.
Havel, Havelim, Amar, Qoheleth, of mirages, said Qoheleth. It's all mirage.
Thus ends the tragedy of Qoheleth. Now that we have been entertained and enlightened, let us turn away from the ephemeral and insubstantial mirage of our intellect, and in worshipful silence turn our attention toward the constant beating of our hearts and the other living treasure therein, the eternal Ruach, within which we live and which lives in us. Let us attend to the flow of Ruach as it gently caresses our skin, as we breathe it in and out, and as it flows from our hearts to enliven every fiber of our being.
Would you turn in your hymnal to page 172 and sing the first, second, and third verse of Nearer My God to Thee before the benediction? One, two, and three. Nearer, my God, to Thee, nearer to Thee, even though it be a cross that raiseth me, still all my song shall be nearer, my God, to Thee, nearer, my God, to Thee, nearer to Thee. Though like a wanderer, the sun gone down, darkness be over me, my rest a stone. Yet in my dreams I'd be nearer, my God, to Thee, nearer, my God, to Thee, nearer to Thee. Then let my way appear steps unto heaven. All that Thou sendest me in mercy give. Angels to beckon me nearer, my God, to Thee, nearer, my God, to Thee, nearer to Thee.
Do you leave this hallowed hall and return to your lives without? May you continue to attend to the Ruach within. Throughout whatever days remain, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord watch over you and protect you. And may the Lord give you the peace that Qoheleth never found. Amen.